ever go to a new area healthy and feeling good? Is that just not possible, Lara? Okay, so you can actually get back out, and we're going to turn around here and climb up this because there's going to be another document. So enjoy. There's a lot of stuff with the hunter through this little section.
He's passed through the lands of the Rus. I cannot shake the feeling that he's taunting me, waiting until I'm a day's ride away before moving on. I will not be home before the winter, as I hoped. I've stopped at a small village by a glassy lake they called Svetloyar. The prophet spoke here, and now the villagers refuse me lodging. I slept on the banks of the lake, where a young man bearing a crude version prophet's icon tried to kill me as I dozed. I made an example of him, and now the people fix me with the evil eye, spit at me as I pass. I must move on soon. His sickness spreads.
Sickness? Sounds like he's sort of their salvation. All right, so now I think that's death to drop down there, and that would be the way out. So we're not going to go any further back. There's a hidden little document. Another little thing I'd missed on my original playthrough that caused me to redo the entire Glacial Cavern. And we're actually going to get our first like optional tomb. So it is Tomb Raider. In my opinion, on the previous game, people fixated way too much on the whole tomb raiding aspect just because of the title.
Shit, that's going to be cold.
But tombs do return, sort of as side objectives, just as they did in the previous game. And this will be our first one that we get here. But yeah, Lara, you ready for a swim in the freezing cold?
An arrowhead carved from bone. This looks like Mongol craftsmanship.
Interesting.
This was a whistling arrow. Mongol archers would fire these over their enemies to frighten and confuse them.
I would love if this was actually an upgrade. It never occurred to me until right now, but that would be such a cool upgrade for your bow. I don't think it is one, though. All right. So now you guys are going to see what I'm talking about with the swimming. I think I maybe bigged it up a little bit too much in episode 1 or 2 or whatever it was when we were talking about this. But this is the... Oh, there you go. So we because of that relic, we can now read Mongolian. So we could go back to the old campsite now, get that monolith, get all the coin caches. But we'll go back a little bit later, I think. So here's how this works, okay? You're really limited with how deep and how much you can actually swim. And there's just something about it. Feels like real swimming to me. And it's scary. When you have to swim along long tunnels, Lara cannot hold her breath for very long at all. And it just feels... I think the word I used was intriguing. And I think I stand by that. So here, there's an obvious way forward. But over here, ooh, there's a little extra cave. And a lot of the time, it really does just come down to duck your head under with right click and then just hold shift the entire time. But I don't know, I like it. I like it a lot, especially some of the areas we're going to go to.
A paisa, a sort of passport. Whoever held this spoke with the authority of the Mongol Empire.
Okay. And more hidden information on the back.
It reads, by the power of eternal heaven and order of the Empire, whoever does not show respect will be guilty of an offense.
What's this got to do with the prophet here? Okay. So we get a bit more Mongolian XP there, as you saw. And I think there are 4 languages that we can learn. All right, and so let's come up for breath and swim the obvious way forward. Check it out, we get a campfire. Look how gorgeous this game is. Like, really? Who would have thought an ice cave could be done so impressively? All right, let's grab this over here before we go to the campfire. This could be just what we need for another skill point. Or to craft one extra thing. It looks like we got a leaf or something out of it. Oh, and we got another relic over here. Fairly linear section we got here. Not a relic, sorry. This is just a bunch of more salvage and currencies for us. Okay, so as you can see, now we have one destination available. We could fast travel back. But then we've also got exclamation marks showing there's stuff going on basically everywhere. So first, let's do a skill point. Let's go Brawler. I'll show you guys what these ones look like. Thick Skin, take less damage from enemy gunfire and melee attacks. Meh. Ironhide, take significantly less damage from explosions and fire. Dodge, counter, incapacitate unarmored enemies while dodging with a well-timed press of the F button. So this is like what we did in that like quick timey event cutscene a moment ago, but you'd just be able to do that in regular gameplay. Do you see how it blends them together? I like it. And then Efficient Killer, enemies killed while in stealth will automatically get looted from range for resources. I mean, that's so cool for a stealthy place. I don't know. It also takes a lot of the gameplay away from a stealthy play style where you're trying to get to the body to get your loot. But it's pretty cool. It's a very fitting trait. I'm not going to do that, I think. I think what I want to do is stay Survivor because there's so many good, juicy experience things. Let's just pick... I don't know. let's get incendiary bombs. So we can craft explosive bombs from red gas cans and deadly proximity mines from enemy radios. In the previous area, we could have picked up some radios. I don't know how I ended up missing that. You could pick up radios and throw them to distract people. The whole distracting thing didn't really work too well. Enemies killed or knocked out from crafted handheld objects yield more XP. So, all right, let's do incendiary bombs here. And then the next time we get an upgrade, we'll pick up more experience when we kill people with these, all right? So craft them from walkie-talkie radios found around the world and collected from fallen enemies. Once a radio proximity mine is thrown, it will lure any enemies towards it and then explode when they get close. How cool is that? I think we'll get to use that a little bit in the next area. All right, so that's our skill point. Let's go inventory. Some equipment I guess we can craft now. All right, so it's telling us we can create a rifle ammo pouch, a pistol ammo pouch, or a hunter's quiver. So let's just get the hunter's quiver. And what this will do is mean before where we could only hold 25 arrows, now we can hold 35 arrows or something like that. But then we can also get more poison arrows as well out of that, so that's nice. And we can't craft any ammo. We don't need to. We only have 2 types of ammo. And then for weapons, as you'll see here, we've actually got an upgrade for the mining pick. Death Song, a bloody hatchet with a dark history. This, I think, as you can see, the skin has changed. I think this is like a DLC thing. In fact, I don't remember having this on my last playthrough at all. All right, wrapped handle. Hide wrapped handle improves one-handed grip, allowing for dual-wielding melee attack combos that knock down even armored enemies. So we'll pick that up. Give ourselves a wrapped handle. And it's going to be pretty cold in here, huh? We'll keep on Nightshade. We'll keep on Nightshade. Let's keep on Nightshade. So there you go. That's everything. I like moments like that. It's a nice little break where you get to sit down, you get to think about what you've got. Before you get moving on with the experience and the collectathon-ing and wondering what the hell's going on in the plot. So here it says optional challenge tomb nearby. Explore to find the entrance. This is the first place where even on beast PCs, if you have your in-game graphics settings set incorrectly, it will
Byzantine war galley.
Destroy.
How did it get down here?
Your frames. But my God, isn't it beautiful? How did it get here? Well, I guess we'll find out. So that's the tube. And I like it. It's kind of like the devs are saying, oh, you guys are criticizing us for not having enough real tombs in the previous game? And they weren't important enough? Fine. The first tomb we're going to give you in this game is going to be a ship on an ice face. Screw you guys. We're going to do what we want. I like it so much. Just like...
It's Mongolian. They passed through here. I must be close to the lost city.
Okay. So if we go forward, all right, that's going to be the way out. However, the optional tomb that they've quite obviously and apparently telegraphed to us is over here. So let's do this. This really isn't too difficult. It's slightly puzzly in its nature, just as we had in the previous game. But this one's very linear.
Must be something up there.
So the objective is to get to the top of the ice ship. So let's move on. It's okay, Lara. There's absolutely no chance you'll fall from this. Just go, please, quickly. All right, here we go. Move on up. Okay, let's pry this. Yeah. To what objective? We never really know. But if you can interact with it, you probably should.
Nice somehow.
All right. So basically the goal here is that ice all on that wall. We've got to break that because we want to climb up on the wooden slats that are behind it. So here, for example, right? If I try and jump up, she can sort, but she wants to break the ice, okay? So we're going to break the ice with that big swingy thing there. There's also a document. And a mushroom, apparently. But really, I wanted the document.
The Maria Adula is trapped. The ice gave way. Her spine snapped in two. No matter. While I hope to wield her cannons against the false prophet, we will continue on foot. I have 6 of the Order of Trinity's best, and we have been stockpiling food and supplies while the sailors starved. They do not know it yet, but they will give their life for the cause. My men and I will find our way out of these icy caves and continue on foot. Before the ship was swallowed by the ice to the south, we heard music. That will be our first stop. But first I must rest. The cold has sunk into my bones, and I am drowsy. Just a little sleep.
Oh, I'm so hot and cold with the voice acting in this. I don't know whether I really liked or really disliked that bit. I know I am drowsy. I don't know. Anyway, so these guys seem like complete bastards. They starved all the sailors who were getting there on the ship. Saved all the supplies and food just for these 6 members of the Order of Trinity, and he's saying that they're going to kill themselves. They're going to die anyway. The sailors have already starved. I mean, they're throwing lives at whatever their purpose is. Serious in a major way. I like the name of the ship as well, the Maria Adula. It's very similar to the Maria Doria, which was a Tomb Raider 2 location that sunk to the bottom of the sea. So a knight of the Order of Trinity pursues the Prophet, undaunted by obstacles. We're going to learn how the hell this ship got here. Ever since Lost with the Black Rock, all right, I've always been a bit of a sucker for stuff like this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to climb up this. And we're going to have sort of a bit of a physics puzzle, but not really. What we're going to do is walk slowly along this, and hopefully it doesn't give way. I mean, Jesus. Lara has some serious monkey blood in her. And we're going to hit this. Now, this is going to lower down and sort of just drop us nice and comfortably where we want to be again. And as you can see, now we can climb up. Not really much of a challenge. I was watching a Let's Play of Ratchet and Clank from the developers, and they were talking about kind of a thing they try and do in that game all the time where they...
That vessel must be somewhere around here to move it.
Where they try to make the player feel smart in a puzzle, even though when you really break it down, there isn't much that you can do to not be smart, all right? Like, really, it's quite linear. And I think this is a perfect example of that. Okay. Right, like, there's not too many things we can really mess about with. And I wonder why we have combat music here, which is kind of interesting. Okay, all right, I see. So there's not too much we can do, but we feel smart when we've got it finished, right? Because it's like, yeah, I figured that puzzle out. So we figured this out now. What we're going to do is rotate this and lower it as low as possible. And then when we let go of this wheel, it's going to raise it back up, just because the counterbalance in the side. So we're going to very quickly, while it's raising back up, we're going to move over here. We're not going to lose our footing. And then we're going to jump at this. No, Lara, why the clunk? Oh, damn it. Look, you got hurt for that, and I'm not to blame for that one. You got yourself to blame. Damn it. And we were going to jump on it and push it into the ice wall, as you can imagine. All right, come on, Jesus Christ. Do you know what I really miss? Being able to tap a button to shimmy faster. All right, let's try again. Second time's the charm, right? That's right, second time's the charm, not third time. By the way, this wheel, I always get messed up with these wheels because I always think that you're supposed to, like, if I was on an Xbox controller, for example, spin the analog stick around and around and around. And it's totally not that. You know, or you know, simulate that with WASD. It's totally not that. It's just, come on, come on, come on, come on. Lara, why? Lara! Easy does it. We're going to take it easy this time. We're going to go nice and slow. No, no, no. There we go. I think I was just being a little bit fast for it. Humble brag. Too fast for the game.
Now to find out what's up there.
Also, that's incredibly convenient, the way that just, like, lowers us down. Do you reckon we can just make that jump? Please, please, please? Yeah, we can. Okay, good. We're going to go all the way back up and around for totally unnecessary reason. I think that's pretty much the tomb. That's pretty much the puzzle. I mean, we can't even really call it much of a tomb. It was a tomb for the sailors, I suppose. And this is actually one of the areas I played really badly on my first time through the game. I missed, careful, Laura, I missed a ton of stuff here. I just went for the big chest, like, reward, which you're about to see. And I didn't notice that there was, like, a lot of other stuff around as well that I needed to pick up. So I sort of have to come back with my tail between my legs many, many hours later and pick these other things up. There we go.
Look at all this. Why were they carrying so much wealth with them?
Yeah, the guy in the notes never mentioned that he had a lot of wealth, right? So here, you might just think that those are arrows, but nearby on this desk here is actually this document. Oh, actually, I think this is the map to the area. Yeah. Okay, so now this will show us everything in case we miss it. But we should be able to get 100% on this area first time through.
We'll die here, thanks to Coraldus and the madness of the Order of Trinity. My ship will never see water again. We entered the glacial sea too far into the winter. Would have been turned back, but Coraldus would not abandon this lost prophet. He and his dead-eyed warriors seized control. He forced the ship through shallow tributaries until we could go no further. Then he made my crew construct sled runners, and the bastard forced us to tow the ship over land. It was death, and excommunication to deny him. But it was death either way. I will make sure he dies here, with us. I've always kept a little poison at the ready, in case the ship was taken. Now, it has another use.
Well, so it's sort of like a mutiny, but far, far too late. Damn. So there you go. The captain's revenge. The captain of the ancient ship prepares his revenge. Does he manage to enact it on the Order of Trinity? I like how he calls them dead-eyed warriors as well. Jesus, giving them the old dead fish eye. All right, and here we go. The awesome loot of the tomb. Knowledge. Knowledge is the greatest treasure.
This codex details the archery techniques of the foes of the Byzantine Empire.
Oh, how handy. So we've learned some ancient abilities. Now we can quickly shoot up to 2 successive arrows without the delay of redrawing from the quiver, and rapid fire arrows, so we can just double tap left mouse instead of quiver. So an example here, something like that. There you go, and it will make the like nice little ding noise. Now, if I was an incredible shot and you could line up 2 headshots with that, that'd be pretty amazing. But that's really not an ability I use too much, I must say. All right, so let's have a quick look here. We've explored the 1 tomb. We found 2 of the 3 relics, and we found 3 of the 4 documents. And awesomely, we found the map, which is already showing us. Oh, look, the last relic is there. And the other document is invisible to the naked eye. Where's the last document? I think it might just be a little bit further when we unfog the next bit of the map. So let's go on through here. Actually, hold on. Let me set a waypoint. I mean, I'm pretty sure we won't miss it. These other pickups are pretty basic. But we'll grab this relic here. And all this is doing, is, as fancy as that was, is taking us back onto the regular path where we diverged off before. So here's the relic.
A Byzantine brooch. The enamel work is beautiful.
It is indeed. Find hidden information.
This portrait has been defaced. It looks like it was depicting the prophet. They must have had to hide their faith.
Again, so here we've basically seen it's been struck and he's been ripped off. So yeah, on this documentary I was watching about the Byzantine Empire, like, I learned all this stuff about how the people of these ancient times, they believed if, like, you had a picture of Christ, for example, like, these images were like power, and they were not of this world. They were of some true divine beauty, and and so, like, if you had a church that had like such an image of Christ, it was like really important. It was really compelling to people, and that was the power was spread where these images were. And there was basically a period of time where the rich and powerful sought to bring all these images back to one central place, so they could hold the power, that they could hold the sway, like, through these images. And so much ancient beauty and art and depictions of Christ from the early days of the Byzantine Empire were just all hunted out and destroyed. And this was called the iconoclasm. And I think what we're seeing with this brooch a little bit, we're seeing parallels between the makers of this game and talking about the prophet in a very similar way. It's really cool. It's really cool that you can see those parallels. There you go, tokens of faith. And they were defacing them, destroying them. It's very similar to, I think the more common one most people think about is, you know, when everybody, when there was a period of time that all these big ancient statues that were all very sexual in nature, and, you know, they showed everyone's willies out and their bums and their, you know, their tits and stuff. There was a period of time where everyone found great shame in this. It's not exactly the same as the iconoclasm, but that's the more common one people think of, where they came and they just slashed up all the genitals and all these great grand statues and stuff so that it would be hidden, and then they put like the little leaves and stuff on there. It's such a shame. Like, if you read about some of the amazing art and beauty of the ancient world that has been destroyed in, like, deliberate fires and acts of sabotage, it's really depressing. Really depressing. And it happens to this day. You know, modern day wars just claim these ancient historical sites. And then we have Lara here, who likes to do it as well, don't you, Lara? 'Cause you suck. Alright, so look at this. Look at this swimming section. How good is this? Come on, Lara, get up. Get out of the water. Get out of the water. Oh god, we're drowning. We are genuinely drowning. Come on, no. I should not have let go of shift there. Alright, you good? You good? Alright, here we go. And this is the last document right over here. And that's the glacial cavern. 100% as we get to.
The madman continues on. I do not know what drives him. We pass through frozen mountains at the edge of the world as people are dying. Every day, I pass graves or bodies left along the faint trail. I have grown thin and hard, but I am close now. My horse is dead. The mare that had been with me since the campaigns against the Bulgars. I butchered her and carried the meat on my back. But I am so close. I can hear them singing just over the ridge. A joyous sound on the wind. Our prophet will be dead within the week. And I will return to the Order of Trinity, triumphant. Just one more day, and I will be upon him.
Ah, see, I really like this one. See, remember what we heard before? He thought he was almost being taunted. I love hearing about this evil, horrible man hell-bent on just killing these joyous, lovely people who are singing and bringing happiness to those around them. And he's just forever being taunted, thinking they're right around the corner, they're singing, and he's just being driven mad. I love that. So yeah, the frozen waste. The tracker found his quarry deep within the northern mountains, where we are today. We can now translate level 1 Russian as well, which is very handy, considering where we're about to go to. A Cold War base, as it would seem. Careful, Lara. God, she seems really hurt. Why? And also, there's a scary-ass pit that I don't want to go down. And out of the other side of the bear cave, we finally climb. Welcome to the Soviet installation, guys.
I'm not your enemy.
That remains to be seen. You killed those men back there.
I killed them to survive. I suspect you did too. How long have they been here?
Days, at most. The invaders took many of my people prisoner. You should leave this place before it's too late.
I can't do that. I came here for something important.
So did they. If I see you again, I'll put an arrow in your throat.
You and I are on the same side. I hope I can prove that to you.
She looked so sincere.
What's going on down there? Who?
Oh, you just got Batman, girl.
So, there are people who live out here, and they appear to have been here for a very long time, living in isolation for decades, maybe even centuries. I notice elements of her dress, small adornments that would not have been out of place in the Byzantine Empire. Could they possibly be descendants of the Prophet's people? How much do they know about the lost city or the divine source? It's clear Trinity will do anything to find out. I'm afraid that whoever they are, they're in grave danger. Let's hope the old proverb about the enemy of my enemy remains true.
Well, I don't know whether they're in grave danger if that explosion down there was caused by them. They seem to be holding up pretty well. But, I mean, Trinity has come to this area of the world heavily armed. I mean, they seem to be expecting some kind of a fight. All right, let's go Survivor. And let's pick up Resourceful Combatant this time. So there we go. Pretty comfortable. So now, if we craft up... We haven't had an opportunity yet, but if we make any of these improvised explosives, we'll get extra experience for killing people with them. All right, so let's just upgrade our longbow with the only other thing we can at the moment. And what this will do is give us additional hold time. Not that I really use it that much. As I've explained, you can just sort of tap, 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 tap. But that's fine. What about our axe? Can we upgrade Death Song in any way? No. How about we change our outfit, though? I don't really think we're going to kill many exotic animals down in that base, are we? Or regular animals for exotic stuff. So how about we instead wear something more appropriate? Say, reduces the delay before health begins regenerating when damaged. So if we don't want to heal, we can maybe use this. And hey, we look like our little friend here. That's excellent. So, I will see you guys next time as we explore the old Soviet base. Which, yeah, as you can see there, is a bloody huge zone with about 1 million things to pick up. and it's going to be a bit of an explosive beginning. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Hope you have a great day. See you next time.